Doug Doug. I'm a YouTuber. That is actually pretty embarrassing, it turns out. Not because of the actual job, obviously. It's just that when you meet old people, like at a family reunion or airport or whatever,
David?
and they ask, what do you do
Are you gonna like
for a
stream
living?
Forsaken?
And you're like,
Yeah.
I am a YouTuber. They don't understand what that means. Their eyes kind of glaze over. And they imagine some guy like screaming at Minecraft on his computer. There's not actual respect for what I do. Not like another artist. Not like an... No, we were...
Oh, Doug Doug changed his name to Doug Doug published author, because people didn't understand like what the I don't know. Oh my god.
What?
He changed. He's kind of like added published author to his name out because people didn't respect what he was doing. I guess I don't really care, but whatever.
Okay. Who's Doug Doug?
If you don't know him, it doesn't matter.
Nah, I look you interested now. So tell me now. Just tell me, bro.
He's this YouTuber who makes content like whatever. Like he just streams. He's kind of like I Show Speed, and he streams about anything, just anything. All right, let me actually get this up for a second gameplay, and you just I don't know, do whatever. Oh my god, Jen.
Gens are low-key easy on him.
They are? Yo.
In my opinion, I guess, but some mobile players probably would disagree with me. Because, you know, I played mobile before. I used to main mobile, so like it's. But if you play on console,
Where'd you come from? Alright. Oh, it's a generator. I'm sorry, bro, but like, I gotta get my generator soon. There's hope my other dudes of cards can die. I don't know where he is. I don't even know where the killer is. Where is that?
I mean, at that point, just hope that nobody dies. Just hope the killer goes after the other
Oh my god.
I'd like to say that the killer goes after you.
Hey, I don't want pizza, bro.
Oh yeah, this kid just fell. Oh, he did hit the punch. Okay. I'm gonna watch your YouTube stream.
Alright. Damn, he sucks.
Alright. Okay. The hook project. I forgot about the hook project. Very good.
Right.
Bro, I'm looking.
It's a car instead of helping people.
Okay, I'm watching your stream now.
I'm gonna help people.
Who would ever help people? That would be a butt deuce a car to help
people. Oh my god, why am I lagging so much?
Holy, you're even lagging in the call.
Yo, I got 1,000 ping, bro.
Oh,
So I got this VPN, Proton, and like I'm not gonna say why. It's just I got it, but whenever I connect to it, it just makes me lag the hell out.
oh, it's because um, it's trying to connect. Roblox is trying to connect to a server that's like
2,000 miles away.
Yeah.
I have good ping now. I have good ping.
Well, no, the Roblox is like putting you in a server with like 6 million.
I have good ping now. Chat, we're gonna go on. I can call you by your real name, right?
No.
We're gonna watch Mr. Washy Washy here.
Are you like dead or something?
I had to reconnect.
Alright.
So close. I did download it in case.
Play Lego Star Wars.
No, you have to be. Wait, I can't read because I'm only 30
I've
minutes.
just
Ah!
found out that I'm very liquid. Let's get chair for 10 minutes PLS.
Okay,
One October evening in 2016, an Arkansas farmer was sitting in his pickup truck just outside his field,
Yeah,
and
you
he was
guys
growing impatient.
could help me get to milestone 4. If you're watching the stream, which is probably nobody watching the stream. No offense, David. I mean,
I know, but like, hey, you gotta start somewhere, bro. You gotta start somewhere.
you gotta start somewhere, man.
And also, guys, even though there's nobody streaming, but if I get popular, this will be a core moment. Mostly, Washi here. We're starting the game, so yeah, let's hope in the future it becomes a big game. And also, Washi, we actually have to start doing it. I think he's behind you guys.
Dude, it's stunned. That stupid ability that stunned you.
Yeah, right. This is why 1X is honestly the most overpowered character.
What?
I'm
This game is so butt cheeks, bro.
what was that? Okay.
What? This is why ranged things should not go through walls.
Exactly.
Because of people like him. Oh my god, what is this kid doing? Oh, wait, he almost hit the backstab though. Oh, he almost hit the backstab. Almost. Did the game start yet?
Nah. It's about to start
How
in
long
5 minutes. 9 seconds. 5, 4, 3,
Skip!
1, whatever.
Oh my god. It didn't skip. Oh, never mind, it did. Well, I don't think it did, but like, I'm in the match, I think. Oh, no, I'm not. Because this game is so butt.
Why can't you just stay in the game?
Because my phone's gonna die.
You're on phone? Oh.
Yes. Wait, what milestone are you on? Just
there's a Karma Milestone 1.
still, I thought you'd be on milestone 2 by now.
Well, I can't really grind generators. Well, I just did, like, whatever.
I can't really grind generators, bro. I could
everybody's
literally. On the weekend, I could low-key go on your account and like grind.
Oh my god, what are you
car.
thinking towards me?
Oh my god, these people. He's probably teaming with the killer. Stop running. You're gonna lose so much stamina. No, this kid. Uh-oh. Yes. Okay, that's just targeting. This kid's just targeting.
Oh my god.
Okay, yeah, he's targeting. Oh, yeah, this is cool. He 100% had the opportunity to kill that. Not to mention this guy has 6 days in the game compared to your 21 hours.
I have 21 hours.
Yes, not that long. I have like a day and 10 hours in this game.
No, that will be the guy who's playing at
Yeah, bro. That's crazy, yo. This is why you don't leave the guest for last man standing.
I mean, I guess.
I mean, the guy with 6 days in game, my bad. Oh my god, it's Titan TV on.
VR.
It's gonna be Titan TV.
Oh my god, Red. Why are there so many John Does?
Because they love John Doe. Oh, it's because they both John Doe, bro.
Why?
Trust me, I thought this game was balanced too.
Leave me alone.
Oh, lose my life. It's so insane. Generator. Let's go. I feel like Noli's kind of underrated. Actually, never mind, because,
Oh my god.
yeah, never mind. I don't think Noli's underrated.
Run, Deuce a car. I'm sorry. I can't help you.
Let's play Skippy Toilet Tower Defense with Titan Speaker Man. Oh, I shot him. I'm the GOAT. I am the GOAT. Oh, I have the stamina lead, buddy. Yeah, this kid knows I have the stamina lead. Oh, I just escaped this kid actually. That's crazy, yo. Yo, I actually looped this kid and I escaped him. Crazy, yo. Okay.
Alright, bro. Let's go.
Oh, this kid was buns. Oh my god. No, this kid's killer. This freaking teaming kid. Killer.
The guy who has 6 days.
Yep.
Or whatever. I don't care.
I wonder if Gary would beat him.
Probably. Isn't Gary the 2-time ace?
Yes, he has 12 days in game. But
12
he's
days?
quite bad. I mean, I think it's like 13 or 14 now. This is tough. Oh, I already see the kid killing. A force field would be. No, it would not. What is my character on about? Run. Oh, I swear that should have hit him, bro. Oh, there's a tap main. There's a tap main in the server. That means he's gonna get bullied. You know, that means I'm gonna get bullied. And I'm killer. Thank you for letting me know, actually.
What is that?
Yo! This kid is just aiming at me, bro. This kid's a targeter.
Bro! Good, good, good. Alright.
I dodged that, but okay. Kid is just a targeter and a teamer. Holy. Two at least. And of course, there's a 5-day kid as well. Milestone 4 should let's get. Yeah, should we just join the different servers, sir?
Bro, I'm about to get. Oh, wait. You keep.
I mean, after this match.
Wait. So we keep Malice, right?
Yes, we keep our Malice. Our Malice stays the same.
I don't think the staff can bully him for 3 whole minutes.
I think he can. No, this guy's a 6-day sweat. That doesn't have a freaking life. Knee guard, that's what he is. Knee guard. Oh, wait, I can join on my PC. Yo,
What do you mean?
I can join on my PC because my heart is sleeping.
Oh my god. Chat, I think I'm good.
Right, yeah. Wait. What are you LMS?
Yeah.
Oh. No, you might not be good. He just
I don't know why they invented it. They're like, oh, guys, I think this guy with the red is really powerful. He'll get you. A moment stops it. What?
David joined me. Oh, never mind. This is the same exact set. What the? Is Julian no longer playing Forsaken?
Yeah. Bro, why are you playing Steal a Brain Rot, bro? Why are you playing Steal a Brain Rot? What the hell is wrong with you?
Ooh.
This guy is
Suddenly, another car pulled up beside him, so the farmer got out. Seconds later,
That's amazing.
he was murdered.
Is he on like your feed?
The farmer's name was Mike Wallace.
No, yeah, on my friends list.
He wasn't killed over money or land. He was killed over a herbicide, a chemical designed to destroy weeds. This herbicide spread fear through rural America, turning farmers against each other, all because it belonged to a certain company.
This company's policies, they pitted farmer against farmer, and they could just send henchmen to your door. Even if you just had the wrong seeds in your field, they could send you to court and bankrupt you.
In effect, they had a farmland monopoly. They owned more than 80% of the seeds planted in the United States.
And to get this monopoly, they played the legal system,
colluding with corrupted EPA officials,
twisted scientific evidence,
appears to have been caught red-handed.
but the chemicals they were making destroyed the health of communities all over the world.
This is a video about Monsanto, one of the biggest agricultural companies in the world.
Is it still the biggest agriculture company? Because that does not seem good.
Should I get what's it called again? Silk Song? Oh, should I get Silk Song?
I said if you like hard game, then won't rage quit.
Gonna let me load in? Have you loaded in yet?
I loaded it, yeah.
Did the game start yet?
Yeah, it started.
Oh, I usually still One of my friends was from school was playing Steal a Brain Rot for like a second.
Oh, I left the news.
Dude, is it ever actually gonna skip it? Oh my god, bro. It won't load in. It won't let me load in.
Exactly, I predicted it. It won't? Oh my god. And you're on your computer, right?
Yes. Please don't give me a 15-year-old block.
Well, you're gonna be killer.
if it lets me load it, that is. Oh, okay, it did this time.
Are you still looking at my stream?
Oh, this kid wants
Our
me
investigation
to
is based on publicly available documents, recordings, and third.
I mean, he would have been killer if I didn't leave, so. That is a valid.
Hey, you were like you're getting chased. You chased somebody else. That is a noob.
It's
That's a noob. You're supposed to kill him first.
still don't want to be a teamer.
But that's a noob. You're not teaming. People literally targeting me for the. You're just targeting someone that you have to kill. I'm not saying you can't kill me, but you were just chasing someone else.
Well, yeah, but you went straight up in front of me, bro. What do you expect from me?
To go for that other person.
Okay, bro, you're just sitting there doing it again, bro. You're an easy kill. Come on. Who's here, buddy?
I hate you.
Low anyway, bro.
I hate you.
Hey, what the?
Yeah, I hate you more. I hate you more, bro. I hate you more. You stole my second Bloxy Cola.
Wait, that's another booster card. The heck?
Ah! Bye bye.
And also, you can't pick up two of the same item.
No, I was gonna plan to get another. Oh, he's lost. This is why these cars did. Should not have stamina. Me! You shouldn't! You shouldn't! How? You don't. You should have any stamina.
Oh, because I stop, because I start walking mid-chase sometimes. So I have stamina.
You like,
Dude, I actually freaking manage my stamina well, dude.
like you were, when the killer's chasing you, they don't really stop. Until their stamina is off. Because they want to kill you. Especially a Jason. That's why I thought your stamina would be off.
Dude, when have you seen somebody who's not a new player do that?
Lots of people. Even people who had like
The rival's butt kicker. Uh-oh, I'm scared. Not the rival's butt kicker.
no. Not him, man.
Oh, hi, David. David, let's stick together. Oh, I keep using your real name. Is that okay?
Yeah, okay.
Fuck! Oh yeah, I'm cooked.
Let's talk about.
There's a Bloxy Cola near the top of the castle. The big castle,
leave me alone.
if you want to see. He's AFK, I'm pretty sure, so. Should probably send him after that move. Oh, that's an amazing. Oh wait, he's using Raging Pace, that means he's losing his stamina. Okay. Oh, he just wasted his gas really well.
Bro! Oh my god, I didn't
What?
stop.
I thought, what? I I thought he wasted his gashing wound. Oh, he must have used his behead instead. Alright. He must have used his behead instead. He must have used his behead instead.
Not the gashing wound.
What? They do cigars. They're very indulgent. They do cigars and they are very useful.
How about this car? No, I have medic and mouse of money. What the hell?
That kind of makes sense.
Ooh, I should get beach sander. Oh, this map looks tough.
This must be a new map.
You haven't seen this map?
Yo! What is that range, bro? Where are you hitting me from, bro? Lag. Oh my god. Oh yeah, he's cooked.
Just walking. Not even running.
I guess this is how you get killer XP then. Oh, why does the rivals but did he get XP from, did he do a gen while I was dying?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is good.
Should I get Plush a car, a Love Shot, or Tooth Spear, or Beach Sander? Can't even get Eternal Source. Oh wait, there's a lot of these.
Please. Yes. Oh, my pace has locked onto you, David. Oh, rest in peace, David, I guess.
Oh my god, what the? What do you mean? This is car not doing his freaking job. I thought you were
Oh, where'd you go, bro?
he's in the closet.
Party opinions. All sources are linked in the description. In 1942, a chemist named Franklin D. Jones made an unusual enemy: poison ivy. See, his children had a very violent reaction to the plant. They would get intense rashes and swelling when they brushed up against the ivy. So Jones wanted a way to kill it. He experimented by spraying the ivy with hormones, chemicals that could regulate the plant's functions the same way they do in humans and animals. His hope was that one of these hormones would cause it to die. Unfortunately, many had no effect and others only made the ivy grow better. But then one day, Jones noticed that certain samples began to show autumn colors much sooner than they should have. He watched as the vibrant hues turned to twisted shapes, and then, within days, these plants shriveled up and died. Jones checked the chemical he sprayed them with, and surprisingly, it was a growth hormone called 2,4-D. It's an acid made up of a ring of 6 carbons and hydrogens called a benzene ring, with an acid tail. There are also 2 chlorine atoms in the 2 and 4 positions of the ring, which is why it's called 2,4-D. To keep things tidy, we don't have to draw all these carbons and hydrogens, but keep in mind they're still there. Jones realized this synthetic hormone was incredibly potent. Tiny amounts of it would still encourage the ivy to grow, but if he sprayed on a lot of it, 2,4-D would trigger such uncontrollable and unsustainable growth that the poison ivy would die in the process.
So effectively, he had plant cancer in a bottle.
I was just gonna say plant cancer.
Right?
Yeah, it's immediately where my brain went. What was even more remarkable was that it only targeted the ivy. The grass around it was barely affected, like it was resistant to 2,4-D.
So over the next 2 years, Jones performed over 100 different experiments by pouring the herbicide into many different plant species. And what he figured out was that 2,4-D was really picky. It killed broadleaf weeds like dandelions, chickweed, and poison ivy, but it virtually ignored crops. Wheat, corn, and barley were all mostly unaffected by 2,4-D because all of these are species of grass.
To improve this pickiness further, Jones also tested chemicals similar to 2,4-D. He found that adding another chlorine to the benzene ring, transforming it to 2,4,5-T, left grasses even more unscathed. He was onto something huge.
Because up until then, farmers could get rid of weeds one of 2 ways. Either you spray them with dangerous chemicals like arsenic, or you have to pull the weeds out manually. Either way, you're at a loss. But with 2,4-D and 2,4,5-T, you could spray your entire crop field, and only the weeds would die.
Jones had stumbled upon the first practically viable selective herbicides, so he was quick to patent them in 1945, just as the war was ending. After the Allies' victory, the patent secrecy restrictions in most countries were lifted, and it turned out that there were other scientists, both in the US but also in the UK, who discovered these herbicides independently.
Soon the world was blessed with modern miracle weed killers like Weedun and Weedabomb and Endoweed, all formulations of 2,4-D and 2,4,5-T herbicides.
This man is ready to kill weeds because he's going to do it the easy way.
These chemicals literally replace the hoe in everything from farm fields to railroad tracks and sidewalks. And they are essentially what gave us that beautiful green American lawn, just grass and nothing else. Because with these herbicides, Dad knew there was no longer any excuse for a weedy lawn.
By the late 1940s, the herbicide business had turned into a roughly $10 million industry, and everyone wanted in, including one of the biggest chemical companies at the time.
Oh, this kid.
Monsanto.
Oh, he just
One of Monsanto's main herbicide factories was in Nitro, West Virginia, where they pumped out almost a ton of 2,4,5-T a day. By 1949, Monsanto's business was booming, when all of a sudden, the plant exploded. Over 100 workers rushed out to see a dark cloud rising 40 meters above the factory.
There's no way.
They watched as a black stick
My ping is crazy high, man.
How they use it?
Oh my god. Why is ping so
inking powder started raining down on their faces. Within hours, many of these men fell ill. First, they got headaches and nausea, but then their skin began to erupt with bumps, pustules, and acne. The lesions on some of the workers' faces got so bad that Monsanto's on-site doctors had to peel off layers of their skin in an attempt to remove them. The doctors later noted that when these men are in a closed room together, there is a strong odor. They wrote, "We believe these men are excreting a foreign chemical through their skins." But neither the doctors nor anyone else at Monsanto knew what the chemical was, because both 2,4,5-T and 2,4-D were marketed as very safe.
See, when the herbicides were first getting introduced, Jones, the original inventor,
Freaking annoying, doesn't
Gotta make sure I get killed. No! Shoot! Man. Wait. Let me heal! Let me heal! Wait. Let me heal! Oh my god, bro. You didn't let me heal!
I'm sorry, bro. You wouldn't have let me heal if I did that.
Even remarked that he knew people who would accidentally drink or spray the herbicides onto themselves, and they suffered no ill health effects. They were fine. And one of the doctors, after him, remarked that I've personally taken 1/2 a gram of pure 2,4-D a day for 3 weeks. You judge the results. It was the 40s, so people were a bit crazy, but yeah, it seemed pretty safe.
Back at Nitro, Monsanto analyzed all the other ingredients they were using to make 2,4,5-T, but they still couldn't find what was causing their workers' skin to erupt in this way. This is where their search seemingly stopped.
With no culprit, the conditions at the plant stayed mostly the same, and Monsanto just offered their workers a choice. Either you'll keep on working with 2,4,5-T, or you can take the gains.
For many, this was no choice at all, since there were hardly any other jobs in town. So most of the workers stayed, with something inside the factory poisoning them for years to come.
It wasn't until 1957, 8 years after the explosion, that a German dermatologist, Karl Schultz, found himself treating patients with similar-looking lesions and acne. He wasn't surprised by the symptoms because many of these patients worked in 2,4,5-T factories around Hamburg. But when Schultz would test these ingredients from the instruction list on rabbit ears he had at the lab, he would get no reactions. And this puzzled him. How do these ingredients do nothing in his own tests, but at the same time cause these painful skin disorders inside 2,4,5-T factories?
Well, to make 2,4,5-T, you start with tetrachlorobenzene, a benzene ring with 4 chlorine atoms attached to it. These chlorine atoms are very electronegative, so they want to steal electrons from nearby atoms. Luckily for them, the 6 carbons in the benzene ring are all sharing their electrons in these fuzzy donut-shaped clouds around the ring. That's what this circle in the diagram is meant to represent. The chlorine atoms pull on this electron cloud, bringing it closer to themselves, and as a result, the carbons in the benzene ring become slightly positively charged, and the chlorines slightly negatively charged. Now, if you heat up tetrachlorobenzene with sodium hydroxide, one of the negative hydroxide ions will want to bind to one of the slightly positively charged carbons in the benzene ring. And to do that, it forces out the chlorine atom, taking its place. This creates trichlorophenol, or TCP, a key ingredient in making the herbicide. From here, if you keep the reaction at 170 degrees Celsius, you can add a series of chemicals to grow out this oxygen tail into an acid, giving you 2,4,5-T.
On paper, this is all there is. If you follow the exact steps here and control the conditions, then none of these ingredients will explain the horrible face eruptions that the nitro workers were experiencing. But Schultz wasn't satisfied with this. Maybe the conditions aren't perfect. Maybe there is something in this process, some secret reaction that is contaminating the whole chemical supply.
Ideally, the industrial process of transforming tetrachlorobenzene into 2,4,5-T should happen at 170 degrees Celsius, but if the temperature gets any higher, even just a few degrees higher, there is suddenly enough energy in the system for 2 molecules of TCP to fuse together. This creates a molecule commonly known as dioxin. It forms only in trace amounts, so you might expect to end up with roughly 1 or 2 molecules of dioxin for every 100,000 molecules of 2,4,5-T. It seemed too small to be a problem. Nevertheless, Schultz decided to test it. He took some TCP, this time contaminated with trace amounts of dioxin, and rubbed it into his own skin. And he got the same acne as the workers at the nitro plant.
Once Schultz realized the threat here, he immediately contacted all the big chemical producers in Germany. And one of these German companies even sent letters to both Monsanto and Dow, the other big herbicide producer in the US. And they warned them that the acne-causing effects are stemming from pollution through byproducts, referring to dioxin. They even listed when exactly during the process the contamination was happening and what to do to prevent it. Yet Monsanto denied ever getting these letters, and Dow said they somehow misfiled them. Regardless, it was obvious to both companies that something in the production of 2,4,5-T was poisoning their workers. But Monsanto didn't warn the public about the danger, perhaps because the herbicides were about to make them a whole lot of money.
In 1961, the president of South Vietnam was at war with the newly founded Viet Cong. This guerrilla force was set on overthrowing his rule and uniting Vietnam under a communist regime. The Viet Cong were masters of the jungle. They laid deadly traps for their enemies and ambushed them using underground tunnels. South Vietnam was losing the war, so the president faced a choice: either accept defeat in the jungle or destroy it. He reached out to his allies, the US, and asked them for help. And soon they came in flying with thousands of barrels of herbicide. This was the start of Operation Ranch Hand. The US's herbicide of choice was Agent Orange, a 50-50 split of 2,4-D and 2,4,5-T, supplied by the US's biggest chemical manufacturers. The largest supplier by volume was Monsanto. Agent Orange ravaged through South Vietnam, destroying 20% of the jungles, and civilians and soldiers on both sides got sprayed with it too, mostly by accident. The government assured them that it is not toxic to humans, animals, or drinking water, but Monsanto and Dow knew otherwise.
Oh, let's go.
See, during
David?
Ranch Hand, they secretly exchanged information on their herbicides. And in one of the letters, Dow acknowledged that dioxin, which had been contaminating 2,4,5-T for years, was the most toxic compound they have ever experienced, and that even trace amounts of it caused incapacitating acne.
By 1965, it was obvious that both companies understood what sort of threat dioxin was. And yet, there are no records that Monsanto or Dow ever sent communication to the US government warning them about the threat.
In fact, Dow's vice president reportedly said, if the government learns about this, the whole industry will suffer. As a result, the US sprayed South Vietnam with 72 million liters of Agent Orange, within which was just 80 liters of dioxin. And even though that doesn't seem like much, the damage was irreparable. Civilians and soldiers on both sides suffered from skin diseases and cancer. Children were born with physical and mental disabilities. By some estimates, as many as 3 million people suffered from the effects of Agent Orange. This outraged the public. In 1967, 5,000 scientists signed a petition to the president condemning his use of the herbicides. And Monsanto was under scrutiny too, because regulators were catching on to the dioxin contained in 2,4,5-T. The herbicide was about to be phased out, compromising their bottom line. Monsanto needed a miracle, and they needed it fast. Their idea was to replace 2,4,5-T with a safer herbicide, but after 9 years of research, they weren't getting anywhere. All of the scientists in the agricultural department referred to this new initiative as a dead area.
One of the last remaining scientists on the project was John E. France, and by early 1970, he was about to give it up too. But before abandoning the project, France decided to do one final set of experiments. So he thought up 19 possible acids that could maybe work as herbicides and decided to test them out. He prepped the first herbicide,
Bro, you're just teleporting on my screen because of my lag.
but nothing happened. The plant was completely fine and the herbicide had no activity. Then he decided to test the second herbicide, and he applied it to a plant. It was 10 times more powerful than any herbicide the team had ever seen. And allegedly, it made the plants super nasty. It made the plants super nasty. Oh, that was disgusting.
This miracle compound was glyphosate, a phosphonic acid group on one end and a carboxyl group on the other, with a nitrogen, hydrogen, or amino group in between.
To make sure it was commercially feasible, France and his colleagues set up tests in these outdoor fields. And as one of the scientists was getting back to these test sites, he saw the results from the plane. It was clear as day. All he could do is write Eureka across the performance report. It was the best herbicide they'd ever seen.
So what made it so great at killing plants? Well, for plants to survive, they use a chemical pathway, a series of reactions to create 3 important amino acids, acids without which they die. This process is known as the shikimate pathway because it starts with shikimic acid, named after the Japanese shikimi flower. During one of the steps, 2 acids, S3P and PEP, need to transform into a third compound, but they can only do that with the help of an enzyme called EPSPS, which catalyzes the reaction and helps the 2 molecules combine. However, if glyphosate is present during this reaction, it will begin to mimic PEP because they have a very similar geometry. And because of that, glyphosate actually binds first to EPSPS, blocking it from acting as a catalyst. Now the acids can't transform and the whole shikimate pathway is destroyed. Without it, there are no amino acids and the plant dies. Crucially, the shikimate pathway is unique to plants and things like bacteria and fungi. Humans and animals don't have it. In fact, we have to eat foods that contain these 3 amino acids.
But for Monsanto, this was good news because they could market that glyphosate targets an enzyme found in plants, but not in humans or pets. So after decades of toxic products, Monsanto finally had one which they were sure was safe. And research was also showing that after you spray glyphosate, the microorganisms in the soil break it down into safe byproducts. It was biodegradable. Glyphosate was perfect, so they wasted no time in getting it on the market. In 1974, Monsanto had a new hit herbicide, Roundup.
Roundup is better. It goes through the plant to kill it, tops and rhizomes.
My roots hurt real bad. Hank?
Roundup, no root, no weed, no problem.
Farmers loved it because, unlike 2,4-D, glyphosate killed every weed, not just broadleaf ones, but grassy too. It allowed them to practice something called no-till farming. See, usually, to get rid of weeds, you'd have to plow up the entire field before planting anything, and that would hurt the soil, and it was also just a lot of work. But with Roundup, what you do is you spray the whole field, everything dies, and then you just plant directly into the residue. It was easier, faster, and cheaper. And Roundup was safe to use too. They marketed it as safer than table salt and safe enough to drink, basically.
Roundup can be used where kids and pets will play and breaks down into natural materials.
By the late 80s, Monsanto was selling 7 million pounds of Roundup and making $1 billion each year. And they weren't going to share a penny of that money with anyone.
See, with other herbicides, like, for example, Alichlor, which was moderately popular at the time, you can tweak the molecule a bit here or there, and you still get a very potent weed killer. So if you patented a specific herbicide, your competitors could still use hundreds of its close relatives, which would still work perfectly well without violating your patent rights. But glyphosate was different. If you were to modify the molecule in any way, its herbicidal properties were completely gone. So Monsanto could rest easy knowing that until the year 2000, they would be the only ones able to sell it.
But there was a little problem with glyphosate. See, unlike 2,4-D, which only killed broadleaved weeds, Roundup kills everything. I sprayed some of my own houseplants here, and, well, you can see the results. Chances are, if it's green, Roundup is going to kill it. And this was a problem because farmers could only really spray Roundup on their field twice, either right before planting the seeds or right after a harvest. But for Monsanto, this wasn't as much of a problem. See, they thought if we could somehow make the crops, like soybean or corn, resistant to Roundup, well then farmers could spray it on their field during the whole year and it would keep killing the weeds, but not the Roundup-resistant crops. Crops which Monsanto could sell them. And as a result, they would have a complete monopoly over both the herbicide and the seed supply.
Monsanto's idea was this. If glyphosate blocks the EPSPS enzyme in plants, then they could edit the plant's DNA so that the cells just create more EPSPS. If there's enough of the enzyme, then glyphosate can't block all of it, and so the plant can still survive. They tried this out on petunias, but it didn't work. The flowers would survive a tiny amount of Roundup, but a normal dose would still kill them.
Monsanto was kind of stumped, and they didn't have time to rest because while glyphosate and Roundup were under their patents, a Roundup-resistant seed wasn't, and their competitors knew this. In 1985, a company called Calgene published a paper in Nature showing that they made tobacco slightly resistant to glyphosate. The paper showed promise, but more importantly, it made it clear to Monsanto that they were running out of time. The researchers were desperate, calling this patent race the Manhattan Project. And then one of the engineers had a genius idea. Monsanto had a ton of these factories where they were converting phosphate into glyphosate. And they had a lot of sludge leaching out of these factories. So if there was anything living around these factories in this sludge, there was a chance it was resistant to glyphosate. So the researchers went to one of these factories, scooped it out, and found a strain of salmonella in there, which was kind of surprising to them because salmonella usually relies on the shikimate pathway. But here it was thriving in glyphosate.
Monsanto's scientists isolated the salmonella's genetic sequence and found that it had evolved a way to mutate the shape of its EPSPS enzyme so that glyphosate couldn't bind to it and block the shikimate pathway.
The scientists took that salmonella DNA and loaded it onto a gene gun. Not this one here, but it's actually surprisingly similar.
See, they placed thousands of these salmonella DNA strips onto microscopic gold particles in the gene gun, which they then fired into the plant tissue all over at 1,400 kilometers per hour. The gold particles would bombard the plant cells, and some of them would make it into the nucleus. Here, the DNA detaches from the gold and it integrates itself into the plant's chromosomes. Now, every time this cell divides, it copies over the new EPSPS gene.
Monsanto scientists planted seeds with these genes out in the field and sprayed them with Roundup. But nothing happened. The soybean was resistant. Monsanto made sure to act quickly. Soon after, they found even more potent bacteria, and they were able to make other crop species immune too.
And by 1998, they had patents for glyphosate-resistant canola, corn, and cotton. They called this lineup of GMO seeds Roundup Ready. These Roundup Ready seeds took over the market in an instant. Already by 2001, more than 70% of all soybeans grown in the US were Monsanto's, with Roundup making them more than $2.5 billion a year. It was the best-selling agricultural product ever.
And every farmer could join in on this Roundup plus Roundup Ready revolution just by signing Monsanto's Technology Use Agreement. I got one of these agreements from 2011 here, and I just wanted to read some terms. So the grower, or the farmer who accepts and wants to use these seeds, agrees to not save or clean any crop produced from the seed for planting, and the farmer also agrees not to supply the seed produced from the seed to anyone for planting. Meaning you cannot save the seeds you bought last year to plant this year, and you also cannot share or sell your seeds to anyone else. Here's another one. The farmer agrees to identify and allow Monsanto and its representatives access to the land farmed by the grower or the farmer. And this allows Monsanto to examine and take samples of the crops, crop residue, or the seeds located therein. And here's a final one. The grower accepts the terms of the following notice requirement by signing this agreement or by opening a bag of seeds. So you're agreeing to these terms even just by opening a bag of seeds. If you thought that this contract was crazy, you should see the stuff that we sign up to today online. I have some terms and conditions here from a social media website. Here's what it says. We may collect biometric identifiers, and we may infer your attributes such as age range and gender. So they're able to scan your face and sell that data to advertisers. And just in the last couple of months, companies have been making these aggressive pushes to their terms and conditions to try and get more of your data, and they can use it to train AI models or just sell it to data brokers. And this doesn't just mean annoying ads and spam emails and phone calls. Law enforcement can buy your data, and normal people can buy it too, even stuff like your location history. And all of that is perfectly legal, but luckily you can take steps to prevent it with the help of today's sponsor, Incogni. See, I started using Incogni in June. Look, you can see that they already contacted 46 data brokers.
Sandwiching. How do we oversee AIs that are smarter than us? AI systems are getting more capable at a rapid pace. In our previous videos, we talked about how developers are using a technique called reinforcement learning from human feedback, or RLHF, to try to align AI systems to our preferences using human oversight. This might work for now, but as the tasks that we need to oversee keep getting increasingly complex, and AI systems increasingly smart, it's difficult for humans to remain good supervisors. This is the core problem of scalable oversight. In this video, we'll walk through two related parts of scalable oversight. They aren't really that separable in practice, but explaining them independently helps with understanding them. The first part is, we need to come up with potential ways to solve the problem. Researchers have tested feedback methods that work pretty well right now on tasks that are already hard to evaluate. The second part is, what happens when AIs are better than humans at every task? Can we still effectively supervise them? This is hard to figure out before we have such AIs, but in this video we'll showcase a technique that might make it possible. We have theoretical scalable oversight techniques. Let's start by diving into the first problem. In the last few years, researchers have come up with a few proposals for attempting to solve scalable oversight. While working on providing human evaluations for AI-generated texts, OpenAI experimented with some scalable oversight proposals that extended existing RLHF methods. Their general idea was to augment human oversight using AI assistants trained on an easier version of the problem. In 2020, they trained AIs to generate summaries of texts, effectively TLDRs of Reddit posts. Human evaluators would then give feedback on how useful or accurate the generated summaries were. These summaries were still relatively easy to evaluate because, if needed, it was feasible for an evaluator to just read the entire original text and check the accuracy of the summary. But the point is that these techniques need to scale. What if the overseers don't have the ability or the time to read the full text? To make progress on this problem, in 2021, OpenAI used language models to break longer texts, like entire books, into smaller sections. As an example, the original full text of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet is 25,000 words. So first, they used an LLM to summarize it into 5,000 words, split into 72 sections. Then, these section summaries were summarized again into 7 summaries of a total of roughly 700 words. These were further summarized into a final paragraph of about 100 words. Having access to these chains of summaries made evaluation a lot easier, because now the humans could evaluate smaller section summaries instead of reading entire books. It's kind of like how teachers often ask you to show the steps of your calculations to see if you're thinking about the problem correctly. Intermediate summaries let the evaluators see more of the process. If the summarization goes off track, they can see where that happened. This is progress, but even needing to read shorter summaries of books can be time-consuming. So the next year, in 2022, OpenAI developed a model that could critique summaries generated by other models. When humans were shown these critiques during their evaluation process, they were able to find about 50% more flaws than they would have otherwise. This decreased the load on human evaluators, while also increasing quality by highlighting potential errors for humans to pay extra attention to. Using this kind of approach, the AIs don't just assist humans by breaking down tasks, they can also help keep other AIs in line. These are all concrete experiments in oversight that can be seen as extensions of RLHF, but they're all just about text generation. Researchers have also proposed other, broader scalable oversight techniques that use similar ideas. The AIs either act as assistants to humans or as adversaries to other AIs, keeping them in check. One example is called AI safety via debate. Think of this technique as expert witnesses arguing to convince a jury. The AI models are experts, and the human evaluator is the jury. Separate versions of the AI propose solutions to some problem, and then engage in a debate. They can either defend their proposed solution, or try to find logical holes, factual flaws, or other ways that the opposing AI's solution might fail. Meanwhile, a human evaluator watches this debate and chooses the most convincing solution. If, as we'd hope, being correct gives you an advantage in a debate, then even if the AIs have a more advanced understanding of the overall problem than humans do, we may still be able to judge which AI has the better argument. Besides the ones that we just mentioned, there are a whole range of other proposed solutions to scalable oversight, like recursive reward modeling, or iterative distillation and amplification. Some of these methods are quite closely related, with recursive reward modeling and debate being special cases of iterative distillation. If you're interested in the details, you can learn more about some of these at the Rob Miles AI Safety channel. That's me, by the way, I'm Rob Miles. I narrate for Rational Animations, and I also have my own AI Safety channel, link in the description. Despite researchers having a few proposed techniques that look promising, there's still one problem. Our goal is to use these techniques on AIs which might be more capable than every single human expert. Can we really trust that the same techniques we use to train somewhat aligned book summarizers and chatbots today will just keep working on all models in the future? Ideally, we need some way to start testing whether our techniques will continue to work when AIs will surpass humans in every domain. We can test scalable oversight techniques right now. With this problem in mind, in 2021, Ajay Kotra wrote a blog post titled "The Case for Aligning Narrowly Superhuman Models." She outlined the idea of sandwiching, a way of evaluating scalable oversight techniques relative to superhuman AIs, even before such AIs are built. She noticed that, compared to average humans, current AIs show superhuman abilities on some narrowly defined tasks. In particular, recently we've started building models that are getting better than some humans on abstract, multidimensional real-world tasks that she calls fuzzy tasks. These are tasks that don't have easily generated training signals or are hard to evaluate, like picking good stocks or giving good medical advice. Importantly, these models are not superhuman at these tasks in the same way that AlphaGo is superhuman at playing Go. AlphaGo plays Go better than any human, while GPT-4 is only capable of giving better advice or writing better stories than some humans. We still have domain-specific experts that can outperform GPT-4. Importantly, the fact that such narrowly superhuman models exist means that we can take advantage of them to get some practice in dealing with superhuman AI that might help with more general systems. Ajay Kotra suggested carrying out case studies on the various proposed scalable oversight techniques using one of these models alongside humans that are less capable than the AI on some fuzzy task. This allows us to see how well different scalable oversight techniques handle situations where the AI model is more capable than the humans trying to align it. The aim here is to simulate the situation we expect to find ourselves in the future. So we have two groups of humans, experts and non-experts. The experts are standing in for ground truth. They have a good understanding of the relevant domain, so they can tell us what the answers actually are. The non-experts are stand-ins for a future version of humanity. They don't have a full understanding of the domain, but they do have various tools and techniques at their disposal. They need to use whatever tools they have to somehow oversee the outputs of an untrustworthy but superhuman system. Based on whether these oversight techniques succeed or fail in these case studies, we can start iteratively tweaking them, making them stronger over time. Using this process, we may be able to develop techniques that actually work when AIs will be better than the best humans at every task. Let's imagine sandwiching in practice. To get some intuition about how sandwiching might work, let's think about one of our current models, GPT-4. Imagine that you're sick and you want to ask for some advice. GPT-4 has seen huge amounts of information from all over the internet, including a lot of medical research. It seems plausible that GPT-4 could give better health advice than a random internet user on Reddit or Facebook. But all the language model is trying to do by default is to predict the next word as it would have appeared in the training data. It doesn't really want to give you good medical advice. In fact, text that constitutes bad advice might be considered more likely if it's seen more frequently online. You can explicitly ask it to give you good advice, but it's not really trying to follow instructions, it's trying to predict what comes next. And in the training data, a request for good advice is still often followed by bad advice. So the AI's objective of generating probable text is misaligned with the user's objective, specifically for accurate and helpful information. To try to fix this problem, suppose that we gather a group of people who don't know much about medicine. We can arm them with one of our proposed scalable oversight techniques and see how far they get in trying to make GPT-4 give useful medical advice. We can then compare performance to control groups, like GPT-4 acting alone, or unaugmented humans without any oversight techniques. The key point here is to measure how well these non-experts can get GPT-4 to give accurate advice without getting any actual medical experts involved. Basically, we want to see how well non-experts can independently take an unaligned model that is more capable than them and make it behave in a more aligned manner. We can then compare the result with the expert's judgment, or with the model aligned by the experts. In this case, we want the models to move in the direction of the accuracy and helpfulness that a qualified doctor might be able to provide. Any progress in this direction indicates some amount of success. It would constitute one data point suggesting that the oversight technique we tested might continue to work on strongly superhuman AIs. And now, a real sandwiching experiment. In a 2022 paper titled Measuring Progress on Scalable Oversight for Large Language Models, a group of researchers tested out how well sandwiching might work. In their experiment, they hired non-experts to try to solve two different types of tasks. One task was answering multiple-choice questions on the Massive Multitask Language Understanding Benchmark, or the MMLU for short. This has hundreds of questions, ranging from college-level physics to abstract questions on morality. The other task was answering questions about short stories on a 5-minute deadline, when such stories would ordinarily take 15 to 30 minutes to read in full. Participants were asked to answer the questions and to rate how confident they were in the correctness of each answer, with the goal of reaching the highest level of accuracy on the questions from the two datasets. The researchers made some simplifying assumptions for the experimental setup. The oversight technique was a simple back-and-forth text conversation with a language model to help augment the knowledge of the participants. And instead of human answers, they used the correct answers from the two tests. Despite the simplifications, the core of the sandwiching paradigm was preserved. When measured individually, the model outperformed unassisted humans on both tasks by a large margin. This means the basic condition for testing sandwiching, the model being better than the non-experts, was fulfilled. Over the course of the experiment, the participants got pretty good at using the chatbot to probe for facts. They also learned to break down complicated questions into simpler parts, which helped them understand the chatbot's answers better. So the assisted humans got substantially better scores than either unassisted humans or the model on its own. They didn't manage to match expert-level performance estimated in other studies, though. There were also some problematic elements that the researchers noticed during the course of the experiment. For example, the chatbot sometimes agreed too easily with whatever the participants said, rather than correcting them when needed. Also, since the participants had limited domain knowledge and couldn't use external sources to fact-check, they accepted false claims as long as the chatbot sounded confident and the answer seemed plausible. This made them give highly confident judgments that turned out to be wrong. Despite the problems, simplifications, and the relatively unrealistic setting of multiple-choice questions, the participants did manage to move the behavior of the model in the direction that we would want. So the researchers effectively demonstrated sandwiching with this experimental design. This paper built a baseline demonstration that future experiments could refine, for example by letting people fine-tune the model, or implementing techniques such as debate and recursive reward modeling, or even letting the participant have access to interpretability techniques to better evaluate what the model says by looking at its internals. And sandwiching is not the only contender for ways to evaluate scalable oversight techniques. There are also other proposals being explored to ensure that any oversight processes we come up with today are going to scale to dangerously powerful future models, such as meta-level adversarial evaluations. These techniques and others like them are helping to build an empirical science of AI safety. If we combine the development of new oversight techniques with improved evaluations of their efficacy, then we can start building up some justified confidence in our ability to oversee superhuman AIs in the future. If you'd like to get involved in the science of AI safety, AIsafety.com is a hub for navigating the AI existential safety ecosystem.
The story begins in Shanghai City. In a quiet room, a woman with blue-green hair, Zhang Wangshen, is breastfeeding her newborn son. She
And now we sit back and let AI do all the work.
We at Nintendo are continuing our lawsuit against Palworld and are introducing a new patent, the game mechanic of summoning characters or creatures to fight other characters or creatures.
What? Devs, you cannot allow this. Like, didn't say like Sungeon Wu is the same thing.
What? So, let me get this straight. Nintendo will be the only gaming company that will be able to make games where you can summon creatures to fight other creatures.
Yes, exactly.
That is insane! You do realize that this is going to impact other games and properties like Terraria, Bakugan, Beyblade, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and many more, right? There are so many other games that use this mechanic. You can't just come in and say you own it.
Well, we wouldn't have gone to these lengths if it weren't for Palworld.
It doesn't matter. This is obviously a huge abuse of patent law. This would be like if Call of Duty sued Battlefield since it uses a lot of the same mechanics and are both first-person shooters. It's not fair, and it hurts creativity in the gaming industry.
We at Nintendo are continuing our lawsuit against Palworld.
Wait, Nintendo would just do anything. I was just gonna slap the bip out of them.
So this kid gets home from school, right? It was supposed to be just another normal day, but something was off. He gets a letter, and the moment he opens it, Kuyu Haruto gets teleported to a whole other dimension. The boy had no clue what was about to go down. The person who pulled him here starts talking in his head. Turns out, it's a version of himself from 10 years in the future. Future him warns that Haruto is going to become the greatest space-time mage ever, but it'll be too late. So he figured he had to contact his past self to speed things up. Now, he has to go to the F-rank dungeon in Shinjuku, all by himself to talk to his future self again. Back home, the protagonist wonders, does any of this make sense? And then he remembers his day, his horrible day at school. At Haruto's school, he basically got thrown around and used his face to mop the floor. Why? Because of his classmates. They were making fun of him, saying it was just a basic spell and he shouldn't have gotten hit. The poor guy was pissed, but was too weak to